Hi, so in this video I will be guessing if you are the asshole. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, this is one of those videos where I go through the subreddit Aiath and I read posts from there and I give my 2 cents because what a better job do I have than this? I mean, I do have to study for my surgery and posting tomorrow, but I'm kind of in an emotional crisis and that's why I'm avoiding any sort of work. So I dressed up at 10 in the night to shoot this video. Let's start. I'm using my tab because I literally only have 2 devices and I can only film on my phone. So, the first one. Am I the asshole for telling my wife that late pickup fees are on her and her alone? Late pickup fees are on her and her alone. Okay, let's just try to guess from the title itself. So, the man, the husband, firstly, I would like to say husbands are always the assholes, but keeping my family aside, late pickup fees are on her and her alone. I'm not sure what late pickup fees is, but I'm assuming it's like when you go pick up your child and you're late to them, so like the daycare wait, like workers have to wait for you to arrive and there's an extra fees for that. Makes sense. I remember when my biological dad would come to pick me up and my sister, sometimes he would get late and it would piss the fuck out of me. I used to think that he abandoned me because there was a very high possibility that he would do that, so it reminds me of that. But yeah, nonetheless, we'll move on. So it depends on if they're both picking up the kids and both of them get late someday or the other, then it should be on both of them. But if it's solely because of the mother, then I mean, it depends on who are you late because of. But also, I just simply do not understand the American financial culture. Like, if you're married, like, why do you have different bills? Like, if I'm married, me and my husband will have the same bank account, and we don't really care, like, whose money is being spent on certain things because it's our money. I don't know, maybe it's not as progressive as America, but that's just what works for me. I mean, yeah, I would like to have my money aside where I can make purchases for myself without being questioned. But like stuff like this, where it's related to your kid, it would go into combined finance, not just like personal finance. So based on the title, I feel like it sounds like an asshole to me. Because what do you mean her and her alone? But let's read it. So the man is 34, wife is 35. Not a question of age gap at all. They've been married for 10 years. They've been together for 10 years and have a 4-year-old son. Ever since started dating, my wife has chronically been late. Okay, that how do you even date someone like that? I can't. Like, even on dates, like when I go on dates and someone is like 10 minutes late, I lose my shit. I'm like, yeah, I don't like you. I don't even like being around you. You smell like shit. Your breath stinks. Please go away from me if someone's late. So, no. I used to find it kind of humorous and almost endearing. Love is truly blind. But now that we have a child together, important appointments for which we cannot be late, it's not funny anymore. It regularly causes me a significant amount of stress. Since my wife is a stay-at-home mom, taking him to and from daycare is her responsibility. Yeah, that's what I guess. Naturally, she's late dropping him off every day. Then she's late picking him up. The daycare would take a $2 fee. 10 minutes would incur a $20 fee. To be perfectly honest, there's no doubt in my mind that I start this because of my wife. Wow. Okay, that's something. For someone to start a new rule because of something that you did, it has to be really serious and also irritating and annoying. Wow. Yeah, now the fees has summed up to be $262, which seems like a lot out of a 800 allowance. This is just so weird. A whole 33-year-old woman has an $800 allowance. Like, I know she's a stay-at-home mom, but having an allowance, like, go girl, work. She initially refused, saying she couldn't afford it, and then she called the daycare to try and debate the issue. At that time, I told her that it was entirely her fault and that if she can't even do the bare minimum for being an adult, she needs to grow up. Then she says, why don't you just pick him up? Because I'm at work. I work for a living. Anyway, the daycare would take him back until the bill is paid in full. I'm sorry, this is just hilarious. I feel terrible for my son because he's completely innocent in all of this and loves going to daycare, but I feel like it's the only way to get my wife to realize there are consequences of her tardiness. Am I pushing it too far, or should I stick to my guns here? Dumbass, you're not pushing it too far, but you definitely are not too fast at all. You were too slow in this. And like, your wife is having a hard time like dealing with it because for so long you normalized and even appreciated that behavior of yours, so there was some sort of stupidity of you involved, but I can't really blame you because you were in love. But now that you have a child and you have someone who is more of a priority more of a priority to you, you're actually seeing the annoyance behind always being late and your eyes are finally opened. So what you're doing is right, but I mean, it's also, I mean, maybe personally what I would do was be pay for it right now and then later tell my wife that from now on it's on you. I feel like to give a fair warning is always the better option instead of just lashing out of the blue, because she never knew that you were not okay with her always being late because you always made jokes about it, and now you're like, you have to pay this $262, so pay for it right now and then make it a point that like ask her to not be late, because like give her a fair warning that if she's late from now on she has to pay for it, it's coming from her allowance. And yeah, and the wife sounds, she literally doesn't sound like a 33-year-old. Like, why don't you pick him up then? Like, he's working, your husband works. That sounds like a very immature argument. And to have that kind of conversation when you're literally in your mid-30s just shows the kind of maturity you have not gained over the years. And it's embarrassing. Let's see what the people of Reddit have to say. I'm pretty sure everyone will be like, NTA, your wife is an asshole, go divorce her. Stay with your kid. Not the asshole. She's lucky the daycare didn't just refuse to allow him to attend any longer. Yeah, that's also true. Because like if I were in daycare and the parents would just come late every day, I'm like, fuck you. Just take your kid and keep them at home with you if you can't even like take the responsibility of coming at time. Yeah, so these were my 2 cents. Actually, this was pretty interesting, and this seems like a real story as well. Now let's go to the second one. Am I the asshole for laughing? Pretty much. Just at laughing. Like, why are you laughing? Personally, I laugh a lot and people really see me in a bad light. Like a lot of people get pissed at me for laughing. Like this one girl, I remember I was in 11th grade and I was laughing and this girl is like, chutiya hai kya ye? And I was like, what the fuck? Like, people hate you for laughing. So yeah, you are the asshole, unfortunately. Am I the asshole for laughing at my crying ex-husband and calling his sufferings karma? No, girl, you are a legend. You're not the asshole, you're a legend, I'm telling you. But let's read. My ex-husband divorced me 3 years ago. When we got married, we agreed that we weren't going to have kids. I never wanted them. He said he didn't really want them. So yeah, 4 years into our marriage, he changed his mind and he chose to divorce me because I wouldn't go back on our agreement and give him children. What a complete stupid turd. This is my biggest fear. I marry a man who's like perfect to me. He's like smart, handsome, charming, all of these stuff. And then 4 years later, he turns out to be the stupid bullshit man ever. Like, how will I ever know? I'm not really a big believer in divorce. What does that mean? I believe in divorce a lot. I was ready to be married for the rest of our lives. Actually, that's what I want for myself as well. We had a good marriage, but I guess he didn't love me that much if he picked kids that didn't even exist over me. I mean, the thing is, when you want kids, you really can't put anything over that. But the thing is, he said he didn't want kids. He said he was like he didn't really mind not having kids, something along those lines. So him going back on his words is a stupid thing, not him choosing his non-existent kids over you, because if you want kids, you really cannot help that. Right after our divorce, he almost instantly remarried. He got his new wife pregnant right away and they have 2 kids together. Wow, like he already had the girl in mind. What is this? In 3 years since then, I finished my higher education. I've accepted a high-paying job in healthcare. Damn, girl. Life has actually been pretty good for me and I've gotten to the point where I think I'm ready to start looking to settle down. I love this for you. Yesterday morning, my ex-husband showed up on my doorstep crying. Ugh, just like shoot a gun at him. Like, he'll leave. I figured something pretty awful must have happened, so I let him in and I got him a drink. He started going on and crying about how awful his life is. He apparently hates his 2 kids. Did I just read it right? He hates his 2 kids. The kids he wanted so bad that he divorced his first wife. I mean, there's one thing, like my dad, I'm pretty sure he hated me and my sister, but it was probably because he never really wanted kids. But this man literally wanted kids and now he hates his 2 kids. One of them is disabled and maybe autistic and he has no money due to the kid being so expensive. His wife yells at him all the time. She got fat after having kids and doesn't want to lose the weight. That was such an unnecessary detail. She never puts out, he can never go anywhere anymore. He said that he wants a divorce from his new wife and he regrets ever leaving me. He asked if I would take him back and said he learned his lesson. I couldn't help but laugh at him. Me neither, girl. Me neither. He's like the most foolish person ever. Like, if you really wanted kids, no matter how they're born, you would love them nonetheless. Like, if my kid is born with, like, God forbid, a disability, doesn't mean I wouldn't love them. And you should have an idea about how expensive kids can be. So it's like you weren't ready to have kids and now you've ruined your life and your kid's life as well and your second wife's life as well. You're literally like, you should just kill yourself at this point. No, oh my god, will YouTube block me for saying that? Twitter actually restricted me for asking Elon Musk to, because he was pissing me off. It was so pitiful. His audacity also kind of astounded me. I get it. I told him that with two kids to support and his lack of loyalty, he's not a catch, and I definitely won't take him back. And maybe this was karma for divorcing me. He was pissed, called me an asshole. Like, this is what I hate about men. Like, they come begging to you with all the things they did wrong for forgiveness, and when you don't, they call you an asshole. Like, introspection is unheard of for them. Like, the audacity to call someone the asshole. This is why, like, I hate men and why I literally just want to murder all of them. And said he thought I would be more supportive. Girl, like, why would she owe you any kind of support? Like, all you did was like leave her, not abandon her, but leave her for kids. And why do you expect that support from her now? And at least turn him down nicely. Turn him down nicely. I don't think there's a way of turning him down nicely or badly. She did what she had to. If she finds the situation funny, it probably is funny. It's not her fault. It's your fault how you ended up in this. It's your fault you don't love your kids. It's your fault you're not rich enough to fund your kids, whatever. So no, girl, you're not the asshole. You're actually a legend. I don't even have to read the comments because, yeah. Now we'll just do 3 because I'm tired. So the next one is, am I the asshole for not agreeing to sleep in a bra? I don't understand why are half of these like AITH, oh my god, I'm so sleepy. Why are half of these just like based, like have underlying misogyny? Like, why would a girl sleep in a bra? Like, it's one of the most uncomfortable things. Like, sleep is supposed to be your relaxation time, and bras just keep you strapped up and like this, but you want it like flailing around. No, oh my god, you're not the asshole, girl. So I, 22F, oh my god, she's my age, went on a small family trip to celebrate my dad's early retirement. A family friend let us borrow their lake house, but sleeping arrangements meant that I had to share a room with my sister and her husband in a room with 2 beds. The newlyweds married quickly, so this is his first time going on a trip with us. I really didn't think it was going to be an issue because this whole lake available to us, we wouldn't be spending much time in the rooms. The first night there was no problem. The second night my sister pulled me aside right before I went to get ready for bed and asked me to change what I was sleeping in because her husband was uncomfortable. For context, this might be TM and I'm sorry, I'm not a flat-chested woman. It is quite literally the most annoying thing about my life and I'm not sorry that I do not sleep in a bra. That being said, it wasn't like I was sleeping in lingerie. It was just a big t-shirt, but because of how I'm built, you could still tell I was braless. I've never thought it was a big deal, but her husband rather conservative in like all senses of the word. Personally, I would be very uncomfortable. I can only, like, if I'm going to someone's place, as much as it hurts and pains me to say this, I would sleep in a bra because I'm not, even if I'm sleeping alone, I'm like, I don't know, I just feel assaulted. I don't know, I have this very eerie feeling when I don't prefer sleeping at someone's place. I'm going to a hotel, I would only take off my bra if I'm alone or if I'm with my mom or my sister or my grandma. Anyone else is there, I would wear my bra because it's very, 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 very uncomfortable for me. But if it's not a big deal to you, I don't think people around you should make it a big deal either. I politely told my sister no because the only thing I brought were swimsuits, which would even be worse, a tight compression sports bra for beach volleyball, which I don't think is even medically advisable to sleep in, a sweatshirt, which I guess would disguise it more, but it was hot and I didn't want to wear it. She pressed me again and I said no again, pointing out that her husband slept shirtless. Wow, okay. I was like a little dicey until this sentence. Now the husband can sleep with his tits out, the lady can sleep with her tits covered. Like, what the fuck? I don't actually care, but it seemed hypocritical to me, so I said that if I'm asked to find a way to cover up more, despite wearing a shirt, he should too. Exactly. She got mad at me and said I was being ridiculous. No, she's not being ridiculous. It's completely valid. And staring at her husband. God, no, I would never. Ew, why would you say that as a sister? That's just gross. And kept raising the stink and trying to involve the rest of my family. That's very immature. If me and my sister have some quarrel, we wouldn't even bring a third person. Let it, like, I know when both me and my sister get married, like, if we have a quarrel, like, no, like, I wouldn't bring my husband in, she wouldn't bring her husband in, no matter how good bonds we have with our respective husbands, because our bond is unique to an exclusive. Yeah. So bringing the family in is this whole another level of this is ridiculous. saying it was a simple request. No, it's not a simple request. Do you know how uncomfortable it is to sleep in a bra? And the poor woman doesn't even have a normal bra. She has a sports bra. And I must be trying to tempt my husband. Okay, now this is crossing the lines. Like, the girl just wants to sleep comfortably. If you're that insecure and literally of your sister, maybe you shouldn't have come on the trip. Maybe you should have married your husband. Maybe you should have gone to therapy first to fix your issues. I loudly fight back that this wouldn't be a problem if her husband wasn't staring at my chest, which prompted my parents to have me sleep in the couch of the living room the rest of the trip. What is she? Like, I don't understand why they would do that. Because India, it makes sense, but if it's America, it doesn't make sense at all. Isn't America supposed to be progressive and all? Because, like, if this happens to my daughter, like, I would stand up for my daughter and I would tell the husband to fuck off instead of making my daughter sleep in a different room altogether. I also made it a point for the rest of the trip to loudly call her husband out. He was looking too long at my chest in my swimsuit, which happened a couple of times before he learned his lesson. The husband is kind of a weirdo, and now I'm starting to realize why the woman is insecure. But I think being insecure of his sister is just like anyone in this world. I can be insecure of literally every girl in this world, but my sister. Like, I could be insecure of my mother, as weird as it sounds. But my sister and I were like this. I just can never be insecure of my sister. I didn't think I overreacted. I might have gotten a bit heated. It's completely understandable why you got heated. But it was in line with my sister. But my family has kind of blamed me for ruining my dad's celebration by not letting it go. And I can't help but feel guilty. Am I the asshole? I mean, why are you always supposed to be the bigger person, huh? Not the asshole, but why wouldn't he have to sleep on the couch as a conservative, chivalrous man who was avoiding the temptation of the forbidden bosom? Yeah, the guy just sounds terrible. I don't know why she didn't wait, sister didn't wait to get married. This sounds like my first boyfriend who would talk about other women's ass being hot. It made me so fucking insecure. So I can relate to the married woman here. Who the hell sleeps in a bra? That's unreasonable, not the asshole. Yeah. Everyone agrees with me. You're not the asshole. Go ahead, sleep shirtless. No one cares. So this was it. I'm like 1/4 heartbroken because my crush is not in love with me. What am I even saying? But I'm just gonna go sleep now, and I'm not prepared for my test tomorrow, so just pray for me.